If you make money online or work remotely from a US company, you're sitting on a superpower that almost nobody realizes. Your income stays the same, but your cost of living can go down and your lifestyle quality can go up by like 5x just by being abroad. I didn't leave America because I hated it. I left America because I discovered something crazy. I could upgrade my entire life without making a single extra dollar. This is the story of how moving abroad made my life cheaper, healthier, safer, more social, more exciting without having to increase my income. My journey started in South America, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia. I was 18, 19 years old. I was young, curious, and honestly didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to experience something different. And here's something that shocked me. When I was in these countries, I was feeling like a king, even though I wasn't earning any more money than I was back in the US. I was staying in modern apartments with great views, eating at restaurants that would be considered upscale in the US, taking taxis everywhere instead of worrying about every dollar for a $20 Uber, exploring new cities, trying new things constantly, meeting amazing people. Let me give you actual numbers from South America. A modern, furnished apartment in a nice area, $500 to $900 a month. Private taxis to go anywhere in the city, $1 to $5. Meals at solid restaurants, $5 to $10. A caramel frappuccino that would be like $7 at Starbucks, well, for me, it was like $1.70 in Colombia. Compare that to the US, where rent alone is like $1,500 to $3,000, maybe even more in a good city, where a casual lunch is $15 to $25, where your car payment is like $300 a month, where car insurance is another $300 a month, and that's even before you put gas in it or have to pay car maintenance. And this was the moment that completely changed my worldview. I was like, wait, I don't need to make more money than I am, I just need to stop spending it in the US. So I started doing the math in my head. If I could save $1,500 to $2,000 a month just by living in a different place, that's $18,000 to $24,000 a year. That money I could invest, I could put it into my business, or I could use it to upgrade my lifestyle, go on more trips, etc. But nonetheless, it's money that could actually compound into wealth over time. Let's break down the math more so you understand. So again, in the US, rent in a decent city, like $1,500 to $2,500 a month, and that's in cheaper cities. If you're going San Francisco, New York, Miami, you're paying $2,500 to $4,000 a month for something decent. Car payment plus insurance plus gas plus maintenance, that's $450 to $900 a month. Going out for a normal dinner, especially if you're bringing a girlfriend, is anywhere from like $60 to $90, maybe even $100 plus if you're getting drinks. For train or plane travel within the US, it's absurdly expensive. To go from one state to another by train, it's like $100 plus. A domestic flight, normally like $250 to $600 easily. Before you even start living, before any fun, before any investments, before any savings, you're probably spending $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And that's just to exist at a basic level. Abroad, specifically in the more central or eastern side of Europe where I'm living now, you can rent a nice apartment for like $700 to $1,200 a month, and I'm talking a nice apartment in a safe neighborhood, and there's no car needed. Public transportation is actually good, and it's like $20 to $40 a month for unlimited use. For lunch, $6 to $10, dinner $12 to $20. Traveling around Europe is incredibly cheap. All I'm trying to say is you can go all across Europe, for example, like Central Europe to Bulgaria, or London to Italy, for the same price it would be like taking a train from Boston to New York. So in the US, if you're spending $3,500 to $4,000 a month, you can bring that down to like $2,500 in many European cities. That's about $1,500 saved every month. Per year, that's like $18,000 to $24,000 that can go back in whatever you'd like. If you invest that money at 8% annual returns, that's like $200,000 in 10 years. You're starting to build retirement level wealth just from where you're living, not because you're starting to make more money. I still remember the moment everything changed. I landed in Warsaw, Poland for an online business event. This was my first time in Eastern Europe, well, my first time in all of Europe, and I didn't know what to expect. I took a taxi to the hotel that the event was at, and walking into the hotel, I was just shocked. It looked like a hotel that would be $500 to $1,000 a night in New York City. Elegant design, high ceilings, beautiful aesthetic. Downstairs, there was a high-end cigar lounge. People were dressed well. The vibe was really classy. After I met up with some of the guys there, I walked outside to explore the city. Super clean streets, beautiful architecture, elegant buildings. But the craziest thing that really got me was the safety. I could feel it immediately. There was this sense of peace when walking around at night. No paranoia, no constantly looking over your shoulder, no tension tension in the air, no sketchy people walking around you staring at you. Coming from the US, especially going to cities like New York frequently, this was shocking. In America, your guard is up constantly. You're aware of your surroundings, watching people, calculating which roads are safe and which ones aren't to go down. At Warsaw, I was walking around at night, 11 p.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., deep into the night. Women were walking alone, no one seemed to be walking around scared. In New York, to me, feels like a zombie movie sometimes. I'm not even exaggerating. It's dirty, chaotic, aggressive, unpredictable. Warsaw felt clean, calm, elegant, and genuinely safe. I instantly fell in love with the city. I've been back to Warsaw like 3 times. I was just there last month. And Warsaw isn't unique. Prague is like this. Vienna is like this. Most of Central and Eastern Europe feel this way. Even Southern Europe is great in many areas. You can actually relax and enjoy being outside at night without constantly calculating risk. This trip made me realize something that I hadn't exactly articulated before. America is both expensive and unsafe in many areas. That's a terrible combination. You're paying premium prices for a declining experience. Now, I'm sure some of you watching are probably coming from a nice neighborhood in America where there's not much crime, but where I'm from, on the East Coast, my hometown was not that nice of a place. We had a lot of violence in my high school, and I can't even go into the city in the state that I live in because it's that dangerous. Like, no one even goes there. So the safety thing is one of the biggest advantages of being abroad for even just a few months out of the year that not many people talk about. Everyone focuses on the Instagram-worthy experiences, the meeting new people, but feeling genuinely safe and genuine peace on a daily basis, that changes everything. My girlfriend that I have here in Europe came with me on a trip to New York, and she was legitimately terrified, scared at times. People yelled at us on the street. The subway felt dangerous, especially the area walking down to the subway. The streets were dirty and chaotic, and she was constantly on edge. I felt terrible because I knew it's something she was not used to. In Europe, she could walk around without needing to be as fearful as in New York. She could take public transportation alone and actually enjoy being outside. In the kicker, we paid like $90 for some mediocre meal in New York that would have been anywhere from like $30 to $45 in Europe. We paid $200 together for train tickets, where in Europe those same tickets for that distance would have costed like $20 to $30. She was genuinely disappointed. Like, this is the city everyone hypes up? What is there to be impressed by? Being able to walk around with your partner at night without fear should be totally normal. But let's face it, in a lot of American cities, it is not. And here's what's crazy. In other parts of the world, you're not paying extra for this security. You're actually paying less. The safe cities abroad are cheaper than the unsafe cities in the US. And next, let's get into the health upgrade I didn't expect. I'm pretty health conscious. I pay attention to what I eat, and I try to have a pretty healthy lifestyle. And this part hit me harder than expected. In the US, the default food is genuinely terrible. I know people say it, but from personal experience being all around the world, it is so bad in the United States. Whether it's things just being fried in a ton of oil, or everything having high fructose corn syrup in it, from sauces to drinks or things you wouldn't even expect. Even American breads have high fructose corn syrup. And food is just highly processed, and fast food is a default, not an exception. Yes, in the US, you can find amazing meat, amazing produce at the grocery stores, but we are not a super cooking culture. A lot of the culture is just going out to fast food. In Europe, the food quality is just different. I don't know when the last time I had high fructose corn syrup was. It probably was the last time I had like a Coke in the summer. Cooking is a huge part of European culture. People cook at home, and if they do go to fast food or some restaurant, it's more of an exception, like to celebrate or a holiday. In Greece, you find foods cooked in olive oil, not just a bunch of seed oils and a bunch of garbage. And even budget restaurants here cook real food. You can actually taste the difference. Fresh ingredients, actual cooking techniques, not just reheated processed garbage. You can get a great meal in Europe from anywhere from $7 to like $15. A mediocre meal in the US is like $18 to $30. Again, I'm not trying to trash America completely. There are amazing food options if you know how to find them and you are health conscious. But by default, the American food culture is bad for your health and expensive. And one of the best parts is about traveling or moving abroad is you can control your climate. What I mean is that you can live somewhere warm if you like being in warm weather, or if you like skiing, you can be somewhere that has amazing ski mountains in the winter. South America has warm weather year round. Peru and Ecuador have perfect temperature in many places. Not too hot, not too cold. Central America is tropical. Southern Europe is amazing in the summer or fall. Now, where I live in now, we have 4 seasons. It gets cold in the winter or fall. So back in October, I took a trip to Malta and it was so great. I went to like 80, 85-degree weather in the sun. So even if you want to live somewhere that has the 4 seasons, you can quickly go on an escape to a sunny place so easily. And then there's also Southeast Asia, which offers a tropical lifestyle. And realize that there's budget airlines in Europe. So in the US, like a budget airline like, let's just say Spirit, maybe the cheapest flights are around $80, but I assume they're like $80 to $200 per flight. Well, here in Europe, you can get round trip tickets around Europe on these budget airlines for like 30, 40, 50, $60. And if you're traveling between countries that are near each other, for example, like Germany to Italy, Germany to Austria, Czech Republic to Poland, you can hop on trains for like $40, maybe less. In the US, you're pretty much stuck with wherever you live. Moving between states for weather usually isn't practical for most people, and seasonal travel is expensive. When you're taking a domestic flight, for example, in December, to Puerto Rico or somewhere that has nice weather, the flights can be very pricey. This might seem like a small thing, but just imagine waking up every day in a climate you love. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're probably thinking, this all sounds great, but won't I be lonely living in somewhere without people that I know? Fair concern, and yes, you need a system, but it's totally solvable. One of the best things I ever did for my social life abroad was join an online business like Entrepreneur Group Chat. Not random meetups with tourists, not just hoping to meet people, but it's a curated community of guys with similar goals and lifestyles. So anytime I'm going to a new city alone, I can just type in the chat like, hey, anyone in Berlin, anyone in Warsaw, and people that are living there or traveling there respond. It's been great. When I was going from the US to Germany, I typed in the chat that I'll be in Berlin in like a week or something. People responded. We met up the first night I got to Germany, and I met some really great people. And these aren't superficial connections. These are people who understand the lifestyle, are building businesses, who have similar values around freedom and lifestyle design. And the conversations just seem so much better. And this was so valuable to me that I created a free community just like this, but for my own audience. So if you want to join a group of online earners or entrepreneurs who are trying to live this global lifestyle, click the link in the description down below to join this chat. It's completely free, but it won't be free forever. Another strategy that works well when you're abroad is joining language courses or enrolling in a university, taking some classes. When I was in Colombia, I did like a 2-week Spanish program. When I was in Barcelona, I did a 4-week Spanish program. I instantly met people my age. I had structure throughout the day, and I was learning more about the culture and language of the place I was living in. You see the same people every day. You can hang out after class. It's pretty much like a built-in social circle. There's also co-working spaces, sport leagues, regular activities, other things where you're seeing the same people frequently. You don't need to be extroverted or amazing at making friends or meeting people. You just need to put yourself in the right situations. And by the right situations, I mean places where friendships just happen naturally. And these systems can make any country feel more like home, since you don't have to be isolated, you don't have to be lonely, and you can have a better social life than if you were just in the US, sitting in your apartment, working remotely and not having any social structure. Let me bring this back to the money, because this is the part that really matters for long-term wealth building. Lower cost of living means more time, more freedom, and more money to invest back into your business. This is simple math, but the compounding effects of investing are massive. If you save $1,500 or $2,000 a month by living abroad, that's $18,000 to $24,000 annually that you can allocate strategically instead of wasting it on car payments or car maintenance. Option 1, you can invest it. $24,000 annually at 8% returns is $366,000 after 10 years, and it's $733,000 after 15 years. That's wealth built purely from location leverage. Option 2, you can reinvest it into your own business. That's money for better ads, better tools, better team members, whatever it may be, and that can accelerate your business growth by years. Maybe you hire a new full-time person instead of doing everything yourself. Maybe you test new marketing channels that you couldn't afford before. Maybe you build the product features that actually matter instead of just cutting corners. Option 3, buy yourself time and runway. That extra $24,000 annually means you can take bigger risks, work on projects you're actually passionate about without as much financial pressure, or just simply build for the long term instead of chasing quick money. Option 4, actually enjoy life. Travel more, have better experiences, invest in your health, spend money on things that matter instead of wasting it on things with inflated cost. Most people's income gets completely consumed consumed by basic expenses in the US, there's not much left over to build wealth with or take risks with. You're on a treadmill just covering rent, car insurance, food. But when you have online income living abroad, you can break that cycle. Your income stays the same, but suddenly you have breathing room, capital to deploy, options you just didn't have before. This is why I become so passionate about this topic. You don't need to be millionaires to build wealth, travel the world, do amazing things, and you can get to your monetary goals faster if you stop burning your money in these expensive cities. And let me explain the mindset shift that matters the most. This isn't about escaping America or rejecting your home country or hating where you're from. It's about becoming decentralized and not limiting yourself to one country, one location just because you're born there. I'm American. I love parts of the US. My family's there. I visit them regularly. I'm not renouncing my citizenship or going to burn bridges or anything like that, but I also have a residency in a European country. I have multiple cultures that I love and understand. I have friends across the world. I have experience living in different cultures. I truly have a global perspective on how things can be done differently, and I'm trying to be very decentralized. My life, my relationships, where my money is, even my opportunities. I don't want all these things just being tied down to one place. That's the real upgrade in my eyes. I can earn money from my American business, spend it in another country, invest in global markets, have friends in multiple places, experience different cultures regularly, and choose where I am based on my goals and preferences at that time. Most people are completely centralized. They live where they were born and grew up. They have one cultural perspective, never really question if there's better ways to live, and there's nothing wrong with that if they're happy, but they are missing these opportunities. Being decentralized means you're anti-fragile. If one country has problems, you have options. If costs go up in one place, you can move. If opportunities emerge somewhere, you can take advantage. You're not trapped by geography. We live in the most connected time in history. The internet makes remote work possible. Flights are cheap. Communication is instant. There's not much of a logical reason to limit yourself to just one country, one place anymore. Let me tie this all together because I want you to shift how you think about this. I didn't leave America to run away from something. I left to upgrade. My safety, first of all, from constant vigilance in cities to actual peace. My lifestyle, from expensive mediocrity to affordable quality. My health, from the processed food culture, the fast food culture, to real ingredients. And my social life has transformed since now I have relationships all around the world. I'm no longer spending money on car maintenance, car insurance, car payments. And my worldview has gone from one perspective to multiple perspectives. And my opportunities went from opportunities within the US to now global opportunities. And I did all of this without necessarily increasing my income. I've had the same business, no super crazy revenue months since I've been here, but I've had a completely different life quality. If you make money online or work remotely, you're sitting on a superpower that not many people realize. You can optimize for whatever matters most to you, whether that's food quality, weather, culture, the types of people you're around, the location. Use it, explore, experience different places, meet people from different backgrounds, invest more of your income instead of just wasting it or spending on things you don't need. Live smarter. Your environment is the secret. Your income may already be enough. You don't need to focus on 10xing your revenue to upgrade your life. You just need to be strategic about how you spend your time throughout the year, whether it's what countries you're in, what places you're in, etc., and about how you spend that money moving forward. Most people will never do this. They'll stay in expensive, declining cities their entire lives, never realizing that they have the opportunity to change everything. Don't be most people. You have the tools, you have the income, you also have the freedom. It's just whether or not you choose to use it or not. Remember, if you want to actually connect with people who are living this lifestyle, who can answer your questions and meet up in different cities around the world, then click the link in the description down below to join the chat. You deserve a life that makes sense, a life that feels good, a life that isn't just limited depending on the country you're born in, a life where your money goes towards building wealth and having experience instead of it just going towards basic costs. The world is bigger and more interesting than you probably realize. Between different cities, different cultures, different ways of life, you might find a place you really like being in. I created a super valuable video helping you to never be lonely while you're traveling or living abroad. Click the video on the screen to watch.